What is going on, everyone? Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars of AWBW, bringing you another live late game of the day. Today we are on the Small Garden House. This is a Fog of War matchup, which is base light with airport and comm tower support with a little bit of port action over here for some potential black boat ferries. Or even maybe a lander. Who knows, folks? Who knows? But as the standard Fog of War match, we do have the black boat on the HQ to prevent those cheesy HQ captures, folks. So it's very cool. Now, I thought this game was interesting. Very interesting indeed, because we have Scooby34 and Ironnaija as our combatants today. But we have Andy versus Jugger. Now, I have never, ever actually featured a Jugger on the channel, but I was queuing up Lively the other day, and I actually got paired against this Scooby34, and I was also Andy, and it was an interesting game. It was an interesting game for sure. I did manage to pull off the win against the Jugger, but he had me worrying for a little while, you know, folks. He had me worrying. He was definitely rolling the slots pretty hard, folks. So, Jugger, as a day-to-day ability, will get minus 14 to plus 29% luck damage for all of his units. His co-power will boost his luck even further. The Jugger will get minus 24 to plus 54% luck damage on his normal co-power, and his super co-power, a system crash, will take it to minus 44 to plus 94%. So, the Jugger can be incredibly effective if he gets those rolls, folks. It's basically Nell, but a little bit worse. That's all. But we also have Andy today, folks, and Andy, as a day-to-day ability, has nothing. But what he does have is access to his co-power and his super co-power, which will give him a plus 2 HP globally and plus 5 HP globally for the super co-power, and in addition, giving him plus 1 movement and a small firepower bonus, increasing his unit's firepower to 120%. So, pretty cool CO. Average Andy, as they say. What even is an airport? Some people ask. Well, don't ask Andy because he has no idea. Alrighty, folks. So those are our players. Those are our COs. This is our map. Let's go ahead and see how the Jugger fares against Andy in Fog of War. So, on the first few days, folks, you guys know the deal. It is our standard infantry builds, because you gotta get the infantry on the field. Number 1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. And immediately we are going to make purple face the other direction so that they are actually looking at each other good and proper. Alrighty, folks, so we're carrying on here. Now it looks like Scooby has decided to not go for this property right away, actually jump to the forward property, which will give him access to this property in 2 days, a little bit faster than normal. But it looks like Iron has also gone ahead and done the exact same thing. So far, things are looking about even in the old capture phase, folks. Not really anything out of the ordinary there. Looks like both players are going to be going for that port now. We do have the port. Scooby has actually telegraphed the fact that he has an infantry going back here to cap the airport by attacking that pipe seam, so I would maybe consider not attacking that pipe seam, but it doesn't really matter overall because I don't think anybody's really checking. You know, you could be checking, but you're probably not. So it's okay. Alrighty, folks, we got the first tank of the game over here from the Scooby34. We have a mid tank, and that is going to be very effective because this tank will be able to jump over here and get into the middle right away. And there are some contested properties over here in the middle, folks. I mean, they're not necessarily like super contested because you can easily capture 1, you can usually capture 2, and then there's no properties in the middle really to fight for. So I think the majority of the fighting is going to be happening over here on the sides. Probably fighting for that comm tower, but I can definitely see some fights going on in the mid for sure. Alrighty, folks, so Iron has decided to go with the standard artillery build. Now, artillery is kind of interesting in Fog of War. I wouldn't necessarily suggest opening up with artillery Now, I believe that the reason why Iron actually opened up with artillery is because he's got 7,000 funds. So he doesn't actually have the funds available to buy a tank due to some of the city skipping that happened on this map so far. So that would be the reason why that happened. So Scooby34 has a choice to make. You know, you can probably, if you have 7,000 funds, at this point I would probably suggest getting out the recon and getting an infantry build. But we decided to go artillery, so we're not really worrying about vision all that much. Jugger cares not for the vision, folks. Those who are involved in the Church of Jugger know that Jugger is all about the rolls, and that is all you have to worry about when you're playing as Jugger. You just get the rolls, and everything else will fall in line. Perfectly natural and perfectly balanced as all things should be, according to some people, some purple people out there. I don't know who that would be, but you know, it is what it is, folks. We have acquired the ports over here from Scooby, and we are acquiring a comm tower. So this map does have double comm towers, so we will have 120% firepower on all units if we do acquire both of them. So Jugger, with 120% firepower, is actually kind of dangerous. Actually very dangerous, if you consider this. So Jugger, as a day-to-day ability, as you know, has minus 14% luck to plus 29% luck. But the comm towers actually negate that negative luck penalty and actually technically just boost him to either 5% extra firepower or 49% extra firepower, folks. So keep that in mind as we go through the game here. So very, very, very effective CO when it comes to having double comm towers. But Andy, you know, double comm towers has 120% firepower on all of his units all the time. So we do have the double KO potential on all those cities, folks. So we have acquired the comm tower. We are going for the airport. We bring the tank down to sit right here on this old city. And we still have not acquired the recon. We don't. Oh, no, we do have the recon. It's right here. Okay, perfect. Both players have acquired the recon, so very good. Very good indeed, folks. We have the vision, and actually, Iron has spotted 2 infantry over here. One of which he could attack absolutely scot-free. However, he doesn't know. And one of which, if he attacks, will also be scot-free. So he could go in for either of those attacks, and it would be perfectly fine. So this is something that I wouldn't suggest doing in Fog of War. So when you're playing Fog of War, it is very, very important to map your unit's movement, right? So you want to move over here, which is perfectly fine, you know, it's perfectly valid. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can't actually move over there from this tile, right? But by moving your unit over the shoal and over this, when you know that there's an infantry right there, that does actually reveal that you have a recon on the field. So your opponent, if they're paying attention, will see that your recon has moved over here. And now they know that they cannot safely go up and capture that property, so they're more likely to go mid at that point. Now, he might go for the property. You never know. It is definitely a possibility, but we shall see. So Iron has gotten the second recon on the field, got a second tank on the field, and is using this artillery to actually bust open this pipe seam right here. So I guess that is fine. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's not really too much of a difference from busting open the pipe seam to not busting open the pipe seam. The one thing that it does do is it makes it so you can reinforce the corners slightly faster with your battlecopters. But overall, you know, maybe the unit is better off being on the front lines, but either way, not overly important. Ooh, very good from Scooby. He actually caps the comm tower before he does the attack, so very good. Very good awareness over there from old Scooby. And we carry on, we build the battlecopter, and we are acquiring at least one of the mid-cities, so very cool. This tank is very well hidden in this forest right here, but it could be revealed by a standard infantry movement over here onto either the shoal or the little bridge over there. So we'll see. We'll see if Andy decides to reveal that, or decides to go for that movement or not. It is very likely that he will go for the movement. Now, it looks like Scooby's going for another artillery, which I guess is fine. We haven't really seen any of the tanks on the field yet, so... The only problem I have with artillery on this map is there's not really too many spots for it to hide. I mean, obviously you can hide here in this forest, it could hide here in this forest, or go over here. There is a nice sort of semi-choke over here where you could put a unit onto the comm tower, onto the forest, and then sort of have your artillery sitting over here. But I think this map is very wide open. So I think tanks are a little bit more effective on this map for sure, folks. That's probably the route that I would go. And, oh no, that is super unfortunate. So, Iron, he actually moves the tank first, and then scouts here second. So this is another thing that's really important in Fog of War, folks, is your move order. Right? So, number one, you don't want to reveal your units to units that you can see. Number two, if you're going to be moving towards a hidden location like a forest or something, you want to consider making that movement first. Because if you make that movement first, if there is something hiding in that forest, you can go up and you could take a big old attack. So, say for instance, you know, if we had moved here first, we would have been able to see that there's a tank right there, and then we would have been able to have a shot. Now, you don't know what's in the shade, folks, so maybe it would have been a trap, but you could have got that shot. So, definitely some food for thought here, folks. That is very interesting. So, we start to attack the pipe seam, but then we stop to bring the artillery forward by 1 square, which is not very good. I mean, if you're gonna be spending time busting open the pipe seam, then you might as well just finish, right? And bringing the artillery right here doesn't really actually do anything for you. Maybe if you brought it and sat it on the comm tower, then maybe it might be a little bit more effective, because if by chance this tank moves like here, which it won't. I mean, it's absolutely absurd for the tank to move there, but if it does, then you'd be able to at least hit it, right? But just moving it into the forest doesn't really do anything for you, so I wouldn't suggest doing that. So day 7 anti-airs, not too bad. You know, you never know when the battlecopter is going to be popping out, so it's very good to get your anti-air on the field before the battlecopters show up. Alright. Scooby going in for another attack on that pipe seam. We are going to be busting that open very soon. Technically, we can bust it open with a battlecopter, but I would probably just send it a little bit forward. You know, we want it to get on the front line as quickly as possible. We don't really want to waste a lot of time, but we bust open the pipe seam, which is perfectly fine. That does reveal that most likely air units are going to be coming, but Iron is already prepared for the air units, folks. He's got the anti-air on the field, and Scooby very, very smartly, very aware of the situation here, knows that his tank is very forward, so he brings it back, hides it in another forest, and gets away scot-free because he does not see what happened. Now, you can, and then he just moves the artillery back. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything. Okay. Either way, so brings them both recons into the mid. Moves another tank. Brings this infantry right beside the city. So that most likely is gonna, I mean, you don't know. You don't know. If he's got an infantry in the forest, you can't actually see. But anything aside from an infantry in the forest would be able to spot this unit for sure. Unless it's an anti-air. I think an anti-air has 2 vision. Yeah. So if it's an anti-air, it can't see. But if it's anything like tank, yeah, you can see. So either way, perfectly fine. I don't really agree with the artillery movement. I mean, just continue busting open the pipe seam, if anything. But battlecopter plus artillery is going to bust this open next turn regardless. So it's, yeah, is what it is. Is what it is, folks. These are 2 somewhat lower rated players. I wouldn't say like super low. I think Scooby is like somewhere in the thousands, maybe close to 1100. Not sure what Iron is, but he's definitely a little bit lower, so perfectly fine either way. Ooh, cool. So Scooby spots the attack here with the tank and actually moves his tank up, sits it on very heavy terrain, and takes the engagement. Very nice. It goes in with the recon as well. Brings the artillery forward, brings the battlecopter forward, another artillery coming in. The infantry are flooding the center, and we have another tank, double tank build. Very cool. So both players are sitting at 17,000 funds per turn at the moment. So 17,000 is actually a really good number for base light, because you can get your battlecopter, you can get your tank, you can get your infantry every single turn, which is a very sweet spot. You know, you can buy an effective unit from every single property, and everything is good. Everything is peachy. Or you could be classy and build a medium tank and an infantry. Think about that. All right, folks, let's continue on. Oh, I've been hitting my mouse the entire time. All right. Somebody made a comment the other day that the excessive clicking of the mouse was kind of annoying to them, so I've been trying to actually use my keyboard instead of clicking with the mouse. So hopefully that minimizes the noise that's coming out of that. Alrighty, folks, so we have gone up. We have attacked the infantry over here, exposing our double recon, though. We did manage to clear an infantry here, but exposing double recon is kind of a risky move. You don't really want to be losing both of your recons. Now, it is possible that if you had like two tanks, let's say you had a tank here and a tank here, or even like one tank, it might be possible. I mean, you can go with battlecopter and you can attack here, and you might be able to clear with an infantry. I don't think you would be able to, but it's Jugger, so I mean, you might be able to. Definitely possible. So Iron did manage to clear the tank down here with some crafty plays, so very nice. But then an artillery goes up and blasts the healthy tank, the 8 HP tank over there. So that guy is gone. Look at this flipping engagement. Holy moly. Recon on recon violence, but it does 70% damage. My god. The recon hit this recon for more than this battlecopter. So I know that this recon is on 1-star terrain versus 3, but my god. What a massive hit. Alright, so infantry going up, trying to clear, doesn't clear, but did have a possibility of clearing. So very cool. Oh no, it probably didn't have a possibility of clearing because we don't have enough base damage here. But either way. Okay. Now when you're thinking of when I mentioned earlier the plus like 49% luck damage, or plus 49% damage in general, I'm more referring to like vehicle engagements or engagements that have a positive number of damage, you know? Like recon on recon would do like roughly around like 40% damage, but that would be increased by like another potential like 3 damage, right? Which is what we saw here. This is like a max roll. So crazy stuff, folks. Tank goes in, we clear infantry, anti-air coming in, and we attempt to clear the recon right here, but we're unable to. Now we can go in with infantry, and that would likely clear. Yeah, perfect. Bring the recon back because the 2 HP recon is still doing its job, which is scouting. So that is the main goal of a recon, folks. You want to be scouting. And this tank actually got hit by this recon for another 2 damage, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to think about, folks. Jugger is a hell of a drug. Alright, day 11. And yeah, I mean, it's not looking too bad for Andy. He's got quite a few units. And Jugger's a little bit lower on units, and Andy's lower on time. He's down to like 9 minutes. So he's gonna have to come up with some crafty stuff here. So this is a great engagement right here. So we go up, we attack the anti-air, then we move in with battlecopter, and we take out the anti-air. So that leaves the battlecopter completely uncontested, as far as you know, right now. Right, so beautiful clear. Although this could have went terribly wrong also. So we got to keep that in mind too, folks. But it didn't. It worked out because Jugger is just out here doing jugger things, man. He's out here doing jugger things. Now, what is Andy going to do in this situation? We could potentially go up and attack the tank. We don't know what's in the shade, right? So we could go up and attack tank. But we have no answer to the battlecopter at the moment. If we do attack the tank, there is the potential that our tank might get destroyed and this tank could just go back and get healed. So we'll see what happens. So we do go up and attack the tank, but we have no way of clearing it. So that is unfortunate. And this is a kind of a... Do we cover? No, we don't. Okay, yeah, this is a big no-no right here. So this anti-air and this battlecopter is the only protection that we have for this tank at the moment. So unless we bring this battlecopter over here, this tank is 100% exposed and will most likely get destroyed next turn. So yeah, we bring the battlecopter back and we have no coverage for the tank. So we definitely have to watch out for coverage of units here, because this guy could have potentially covered this. And so would this guy. But because we didn't cover it, we don't really have the movement. The only way that we would have the movement is if we bust out the super co-power and get the +1 movement right here. But this guy does not cover, so that's very unfortunate. Now it is like, there's a possibility that the battlecopter might go over here because it's, you know, because he might be expecting Iron to have something in range of this tank from, like, let's say over here, right? So he might go over here with the battlecopter and attack, which in turn would actually be very good because then the anti-air would counter it. But immediately we don't have any coverage there, so it's not really a great plan in my mind. I think anti-air right here would be perfectly fine because it would be out of vision of this, and it would still be able to cover over here and cover over here. So small micro changes in the plan here could definitely have worked out a lot better. We got the overclock, folks. The first jugger power of the entire channel. Let's see how this works out for him, folks. So this is the one where it does go up to +55% damage. So let's see. So we get a clear. Just normal attack. See, this is brilliant. So Scooby knows that there could be something hiding in this forest. Like, he doesn't know. He most likely would have been able to see something move in the forest, but just to be safe, he rolls around and he attacks right here, which is great. I mean, he could have possibly had something right here too, in which it would have got trapped, but, you know, but either way, you know, perfectly fine. Infantry just goes up and completely obliterates that infantry. Tank goes up and completely obliterates that infantry. Battlecopter goes down, completely obliterates that tank. That is super unfortunate. Fun fact though, luck damage does not work against pipe seams, so don't even bother trying to use luck on those guys. Oh no, he busts out the stinky Neo tank. Oh no. No, stinky Jugger Neo tank on the field. Jugger is basically just a Neo tank in general, so I mean, he's kind of stinky, but I mean, he's cool. He's like the cool kind of stinky, I guess. Alright, folks, so we got a Neo tank on the field. This guy is going to be able to just completely obliterate Andy. Andy's main counter, if you're going to be fighting an Andy, are units that can destroy his units. I know it sounds simple, but the best way to fight an Andy is to make sure that you get KOs on his units. Because if he has nothing to heal, well then Hyper Upgrade is going to do nothing for him. That's sort of just sending a unit to die, so I probably wouldn't suggest doing that in the future. We're going to go for the break on the pipe seam. We are very close. That's going to do nothing. That actually does 0% damage. Yeah, that's... I wouldn't, yeah, that's kind of rough. So, base firepower machine gun units at, like, yeah, just base power at full health will be able to do 1% damage to a pipe seam. Any injury on a machine gun firing unit will do 0%. And that also applies to full HP units that have under 100% as well. So, for example, Jess Infantry, Sammy Recons, Colin, you know, Sturm stuff. Those guys won't be able to do any damage, so that's actually doing absolutely nothing to benefit you. You could potentially go in with just the battlecopter and clear it, so that would work perfectly fine, for sure. But yeah, that does nothing for you, unfortunately. It does get the recon out of danger, though, so maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe it had absolutely nothing to do with the damage. It was just getting a recon out of there. So doesn't get hyper upgrade, so he's not able to go in for this attack. So he's forced to kind of just sit back and wait. Very unfortunate that this infantry is about to get blasted to smithereens right there. Yeah, that was the... You could tell that Jugger was just thirsty for that attack. He was just like, oh, I can't wait till it's my turn so I can just attack. I'm gonna destroy that infantry. Jugger noises. My god. Beep boop, beep boop. Alright. Artillery into the forest. Nice position. Double artillery. Nice position as well. This is a good position for this artillery as well because it actually covers the anti-air perfectly. So, provided we don't move the anti-air, perfect coverage. Neo-tank moves into the middle. Absolutely no fear from this stinky boy over here. Moving into the forest to scout out a little bit. Has spotted a tank and has spotted a infantry right here. So we go on with the tank. We take the engagement. Ooh, so this is interesting. This is very, very, very interesting because Scooby might get really greedy and he might go for the attack. And if he does, he's going to spot a copter, which is actually going to be sort of good for him because he'll be able to go up and get a first strike on this copter, which could potentially one-shot it. But it might not, right? And then if he decides to move in with the copter and finish it, if it doesn't, well then Iron has copter, anti-air, ready to take out 2 copters, and it's going to be beautiful. And then, you know what? Hyper upgrade, we have another tank strike over here. Now, once again, he doesn't know that there's a stinking Neo tank on the field. Oh, he goes up with the... Ooh. Yeah. Minor change to the attack order. If you go in with your tank first, you'll be able to just get a little bit of extra scouting. So that would have actually spotted the battlecopter, right? But goes in for the battlecopter strike anyways. Does 90% damage here. Takes it all the way down to 1, but it has survived. So that means we are going to have a hyper upgrade and get a full 5 HP heal on that battlecopter, folks. It's going to be legendary. Absolutely legendary. But this anti-air pushing all the way up here is pretty spooky as well. We don't really have a whole lot that we can do about that. Unfortunately, our city is getting capped at the moment. Now with hyper upgrade, we can go in and interrupt it. We can attack the anti-air with a tank. Technically, we can go in with tank battlecopter next turn, and that should actually clear the anti-air. Then we can go in with, well, I'd probably move this guy right here, but then we can go in with anti-air. We can go in with battlecopter. We get a guaranteed clear if we use this battlecopter as well. But we should, there's a pretty good likelihood that we will be able to just go in with recon and clear this next turn as well. So if we clear this, clear this, clear this, maybe move artillery into the forest, then we should be able to do pretty well over here as long as we have the battlecopter survive. If we flip this battlecopter, he'll be here next turn if we do that. Ooh, but you know what? We can't actually interrupt the capture if we do that because we won't have an infantry to put here because we would need the battlecopter over here to clear. And tank's not in position to clear. In this instance, I would probably just let him have the cap and destroy the anti-air because that's a much more dangerous threat than this guy over here. I think, you know, you can get properties back later if your opponent has no units. But we don't have to worry about it actually because I forgot about that pipe seam being super busted. So now we can just go in with the recon and clear here. But I'm really hoping that we do this attack properly, because if we do it properly, we clear the anti-air, we clear battlecopter, clear 2 battlecopters, and we interrupt the capture. So let's see if he does it. So goes in with the recon. Probably would have attacked it from right here. Because if we attack it from right here, while it is right beside a tank, you don't know what's over here, right? So probably right there would be a little bit better. Oh, just scouts ahead, attacks this guy. No, we didn't do it. We're probably gonna go in for a tank strike now. Oh, that's so unfortunate because this would be a great clear on this anti-air. Oh, we take it down to 1 anyways. Pfft, never mind, whatever. This is 120% firepower Andy with a super, you know? That's a perfectly fine attack. Maybe if we didn't have power, you know, and it was like sort of the same situation and you can do this attack order, maybe that would have been fine. Oh, geez. Wrong button. Oh, no. Day 12, day 13. Yeah, we're right here. Okay, let's go and do the attack anyways. Yeah, I would like to just clear the copter. We didn't attack the copter. No. Clear the copter. The tanks aren't going to be able to do anything against your battlecopters. I mean, even with a little bit of luck, they're probably not going to do much. So, I mean, we do take out a tank, which is fine, but now this copter is going to be able to take out this copter, and we lose our anti-air next turn. Like, 100%. So, yeah, copter was more important than the tank at the moment. And we spot the stinky Neo tank, so that guy is super gonna move in and do something crazy next turn, probably with an overclock. There we go, folks. Let's see what happens with the old overclock. Ooh, super low roll. Ha! Didn't get the roll on that one, Jugger, but we did get the roll on that one. So that is a, that's a roll. Ooh, took it down to 1, doesn't get the full clear. Took it down to 1, doesn't get the full clear, gets the clear. And should get the clear with the infantry right here. Taking a couple infantry rolls. Look at this 1 HP flipping anti-air. What a legend. It attacks and it doesn't die. See, if we did clear that anti-air, it wouldn't have been able to do that. And then we would have had copters available to take out this copter next turn too. But this copter wouldn't even exist if we had just done the attack that I was thinking of. So, either way, builds another stinky Neo tank, and Iron has also built a stinky Neo tank, so now this entire battlefield is starting to stench up the place, and it is not very good. So this is that is a very high roll from this Jugger Battlecopter. So this is another thing when you're dealing with Luxios, folks, is when they have their power activated, their luck damage still applies to you. So if you go in for an attack, let's say against a Jugger, a Flock, or an L, be prepared to have your unit just get completely wiped out if you attack them. The likelihood of that happening is higher than you would think. This Neo tank does clear this Battlecopter, so I probably would go in for that attack. Yeah, see? Going for Battlecopter, we could, if we're going to go in with the Battlecopter, we could clear the infantry, then we can use the Neo tank to clear this. I mean, this is fine because we don't actually reveal the Neo tank, but I mean, at this point, if you bust out a stinky Neo tank, I mean, your opponent could probably smell that you're going to be busting out a stinky Neo tank as well. So, yeah, you know what? Get them on the field, get them to do the damage, take out the units, and be merry. You know, just be merry. Okay, so the old Jugger is going to go in and clear 2 more units because he's got incredible luck, and slot machines are super fun and addicting. And sometimes when you're playing with slot machines, you just can't stop. Alright, Anti-Air moves in, clears another infantry. Neo moves over here to block the capture of this property here, and we have an artillery. The only issue is if there is a unit available to move right here, the artillery does not cover anything. It won't be able to attack a unit that attacks in this square. So moving right here would probably be a lot better. But this guy covers like a decent amount here, so that's pretty cool too. Both Neos are going over to the left-hand side of the map, and we end turn and pass it over to Iron, who on day 15 clears a tank, clears an infantry, scouts a property, moves a recon in, clears another infantry, moves another recon down, spots a big old ball of death over here that you want absolutely no part of, brings the Neo tank over to counter, and then busts out with the rocket. We have a rocket of a legend on the field, folks. Will it get bullied on the semi-original guy channel as per usual, or will it be able to be based as all heck and be able to get something done? I don't know yet, folks. We will find out together, because it is day 16. Properties have been flipped. Neo tanks are going up and bullying people. Infantry have trapped other infantry, and a tank is moving into attack. And we are going for an attack on the lab, which is going, or the black pote on the HQ, which is going to expose the HQ for a nasty HQ capture. And with 2 Neo tanks in position to be blockers, this is going to get spicy really, really quick, folks. Day 16 has rolled in. Neo tank is attacking a Neo tank for a big old hit. A big old hit indeed, folks. Battlecopters are moving in. This guy needs to get the heck over here. Nah, this guy does not need to go over there, because this does not cover anything. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't cover the Neo tank. This guy needs to get over here and cover the HQ. That is priority number 1 for that rocket, folks. And we end up getting trapped over here. Busts out the classy medium tank. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have a shot on this guy, which is okay, which is fine. Pops a hyper repair. So we repair the black boat, do a little bit of heal over here, get a heal on our Neo tank. Going Clone Andy mode today, folks, so not too bad. Pops the overclock. So we do have the defense bonus here. So that's not too bad, but I mean, these guys clear this. There's no question. And then we have a capture, and we have a block, and then we have another block, and then we have a block. So this is a guaranteed HQ capture. Yeah. There is absolutely nothing that can stop that HQ capture, folks. Now, if we had brought the rocket right here, rocket would have been able to interrupt that HQ capture, no problem, folks. But unfortunately, the rocket went over here instead of over here where it should have gone. And now we end up in the situation that we're in right now. But well played to Scooby34. What an incredible display of juggery. And Iron, not really too bad, but just a couple things that we probably could have did a little bit differently, especially around this turn, I believe. Right? If we had brought the artillery right here, could have been a lot better. Next turn right here. Yeah, this one. If we had gone about this a little bit differently, like I said, we could have cleared this, we could have cleared this, we could have cleared this, and things would have probably been a little bit better, because we wouldn't have to deal with the battlecopters, and then the battlecopters could actually flip over here and start assisting here afterwards. But is what it is at the end of the day, and I think both players played very well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the juggery today, folks. And if you did, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And if you want to support the channel further, you could consider becoming a channel member. Take care of yourselves, folks, and bye-bye for now.